myself Nimesh Prabhakar. Welcome to Automotive Electronics Lecture Series. In this lecture, we will discuss about the motivation for electronics engine control, and next one we discuss about the internal combustion engine, that means IC engine. So in this lecture, we will discuss about these two topics. So let's, without wasting time, we first one discuss about the motivation for electronics engine control. That means in this lecture we discuss about how the beginning of the electronics engine, that means the electronics portion that they use in the car or in the automobile industry is how it began. What is the motivation behind this? Why this electronic system is necessary to use inside this car or in the automobile industry. So now we discuss about this. So we know that until the 1960, control of engine output torque and the RPM was accomplished through some combination of mechanical, pneumatic and hydraulic system. We know that after the 1970, General Motors first time introduced or used the electronic system in the car. Before that, the system, that means the control of the car, is done through mechanical or pneumatic or hydraulic system. Now, then in the 1970, the electronic control system was introduced inside the car. That means the first time the use of the electronic system in the car is done after the 1970. So, what is the main motivation why it need to use the car electronic system inside car? The initial motivation for the electronics control came in apart from two government requirements. So, which are that government requirement? So, first one is the exhaust emission, that means to control the exhaust emission. So the first came about as a result of legislation to regulate automobile exhaust emission under the authority of Environment Protection Agency. That means we know that in the earlier car, that means in the 1960, 1970 and before that car, the emission is very high. That means it introduced the carbon dioxide and monoxide and also other like the sulfur dioxide in the air. So now, as compared to the earlier car, now in this day, due to the electronic system, the emission, that means the exhaust gases, is the level of the emission we have reduced. So first one motivation why this electronic system is introduced inside the car is the first one is due to the motivation come to the exhaust emission, and the second one and most important is the fuel economy. That means the second was the trust to improve the nation average fuel economy by government regulation. So we know that the fuel economy is very important part, because nowadays the car, we know that it's run by the electronic system. Electrical battery is also used inside the car to reduce this fuel economy. To increase this fuel economy. So before that, there is we know that the diesel engine and the petrol engine is used, and we know that the petrol and diesel is very limited in the portion. So to save this, this regulation is come like fuel economy. So these are the main two reasons why, that means these are the main reason why the electronic system is introduced in the car, or we can say these are the two motivation points. Due to that point, we introduce or the electronic system is introduced inside the car. So first one is the exhaust emission, and second one reason is the fuel economy. So now we discuss about this in the detail. So first one is the exhaust emission. The engine exhaust consists of a product of combustion of air and gasoline mixture. Gasoline is a mixture of chemical compounds that are called the hydrocarbons. That means we know that this is the hydrocarbon is nothing but the HCCO, H2O. These are the combination. The combination of gasoline in an engine in the result exhaust gases including carbon dioxide, that means CO2, H2O, CO, and oxide of nitrogen and various hydrocarbon is produced. So in the exhaust, these are the component is produced. Now, during the combustion process, the carbon and hydrogen combine with oxygen from the air, releasing heat energy and forming various chemical compounds. So we know that the combustion process of the engine. So in the engine combustion, the air is introduced from the air filter and also the fuel injector is introduced the fuel. Fuel is anything like the petrol or diesel. But the petrol and diesel we know that is made up by the hydrocarbon, or we can say that is a hydrogen combination. So this combination is go inside the combustion chamber where it burns with the help of the spark plug and it produces the combustion. That means the combustion process is done. And after that combustion process, we know that the component of the hydrocarbon and that means the exhaust gases is present and exhaust is released to the exhaust valve. So this exhaust component is very important to control. If the combustion were perfect, the exhaust gases would consist only the carbon dioxide and water, neither of which is considered harmful to human health in the atmosphere. So why we call this carbon dioxide and water is not harmful? Because we know that both are present, that means carbon dioxide and hydrogen is present in the animal breath. That means some portion of the carbon dioxide is also present in our human breathing system. So due to this, we can say that this is not harmful. But so the next one point, why are the vehicle exhaust emission is a problem? So exhaust emission, why it is a major problem? So when the combustion of the engine is not perfect, then CO2 and H2O, that means carbon dioxide and the water, the exhaust consists amount of carbon monoxide, oxide of nitrogen, that means NOx, then unburned hydrocarbon, that means HC, and oxide of sulfur, that means SO2. These are very harmful. That means if the combustion is done very properly, then the carbon dioxide and the water is produced. But if the combustion inside the engine is not done properly, that means there are the many reasons why the combustion is not done properly. We will discuss in the later lecture. But if the combustion is not done properly inside the IC engine, then due to that, this harmful gases is produced like carbon monoxide, oxide of the nitrogen, that means the NOx, or sulfur dioxide, and also other harmful hydrocarbon is produced. Now, second one motivation point is the fuel economy. Do you know that? It is related to the number of miles that can be driven for each gallon of gasoline consumed. That means it is referred to as a miles for gasoline, or in the simple term we call it as a mileage. Mileage depends on the size, shape and the weight of the car as well as how the car is driven. We know that the mileage is depends on the weight. That means it depends on the cc of the vehicle. We know that generally the car is the 1000 cc or 1200 cc car. So if the CC is increased, that means that the weight is increased, and it also affects on the mileage. Then how the driver drive the car is also important for the mileage purpose, size of the car and the shape of the car. So these are the parameters considered when we have to make the car for the fuel economy. That means we have to increase the efficiency of the car in terms of the fuel. In order to establish a regulatory framework for fuel economy standard, the federal government has established hypothetical driving cycles that are intended to represent how cars are operated on a sort of average basis. So this is the fuel economy. Now we discuss about the IC engine, that means internal combustion engine. This is the figure of the IC engine. In the left side figure you can see this is the 4-cylinder IC engine, and here I have represent the function of one cylinder. Now an internal combustion engine, why it's called the internal combustion engine? Because the combustion takes place within working fluid of the engine. Thus, that means fluid get contaminated with the combustion product. Petrol and diesel are the example of internal combustion engine, where the working fluid is mixture of air and fuel. Now we discuss about the main component of the IC engine. So here in this figure we can see, so which are the main components? So first one is the cylinder, then next one is the piston, then third one main component is the connecting rod, then next one is the valves, then spark plug, then crankshaft, and the last one is the camshaft. These are the two is a different term. First one is the crankshaft and last is the camshaft. So now we discuss about this component. So first one and important is the cylinder. So here in this figure in the gray color, this is the cylinder portion we can see here. The hollow cylindrical structure closed at one end with the cylinder head in which the piston reciprocate back and forth. That means inside this cylinder, this piston is moved in the upward direction and downward side, upward and downward direction. Now, the made of the hard, that means this cylinder is made of the hard and highly thermal conductive material, because inside this cylinder the combustion process is done, and we know that due to this combustion process the temperature of this cylinder is increased. So the high temperature is produced inside this cylinder. That's why we require the material that have the high thermal conductivity. And last one, the combustion of the fuel takes place inside this cylinder. Now next one component is the piston. So here this is the piston we can see. This piston is moved inside this cylinder. It is a cylindrical component which is fitted, or we can say fit perfectly inside the cylinder, providing a gas tight space with piston ring and lubricant. Now we understand the function of this piston. So the main function of this piston is to transmit the force extracted by the burning of fuel to the connecting rod. At least we know that the combustion process is done inside this piston, inside this cylinder. So the force is produced, that means the power is produced, and due to that power this piston is moved in the downward side. So the function is this piston is to that means that this fuel burning process is produce a force and move this piston downward side, and due to that this camshaft is also rotated. Now next one is the connecting rod. So here in this figure we can see this is the connecting rod. The element which interconnect the piston and the crankshaft is called the connecting rod. So the one end is connected with the piston and other end is connected with the crank. Transform the reciprocating motion of the piston into the rotatory motion of the crankshaft. So this is the function of the connecting rod. That means it transfers this reciprocating motion of the piston into the rotatory motion of the crankshaft. Now next one, the piston has a two end. Connecting rod has a two end. One end is the very small end and is connected the piston by the Gaussian pin. Here we can see is connected with the piston. And other end, this is the other end. The big end connected to the crankshaft by the crank pin. So this is the connecting rod. Now next one. Next one is the valves. So here we can see this is the first one valve and this is the second one valve. So first one is the intake valve and the second one valve is the exhaust valve. Now the valves provide in the cylinder head for an admission of the pressed air fuel mixture into the engine cylinder and for rejection of burnt gases. That means due to this valve movement, that means this valve open and close. So when the valve is open, at that time air and fuel mixture is entered, and from the exhaust valve, when the exhaust valve is open, at that time this burn, that means the exhausted gas is leave the engine. Operated by this camshaft and the camshaft. Operated by cams and the camshaft. So this valve is open and closed by the movement of the camshaft. Now next one, an important part of this IC engine is the spark plug. We have seen this spark plugs many times. The spark plug is located near the top of the cylinder of the IC engine, and it initiates the combustion of the fuel. That means the spark plug is provide a small spark, and due to this spark, the combustion process is started. Now next one is the crankshaft. So here in this figure we can see this is the crankshaft. The crankshaft transforms up and down motion of the piston into a corresponding circular motion. That means we know that this piston is moved inside the cylinder up and downward side, and this motion is transformed into the crankshaft. That means this up and down motion is converted into the circular motion. It attached to the piston through a connecting rod. Now last one is the camshaft. The camshaft oversees the opening and closing of the valve. That means here in this figure we can see due to the camshaft motion, this valve is open and closed. So this is the main function of the camshaft, to provide the opening and the closing of the valve. To do this, it converts the circular motion of the camshaft into the up and down motion that open and shut the valve. Now we discuss about the working of IC engine. So mainly IC engine working is divided into the four stop. First one is the intake stop. Second one is the compression stop. Third one is the power stop. And the last one is the exhaust stop. So the IC engine working is mainly divided into the four stop. First one is the intake stop. Second one is the compression stop. Third one is the power stop. And last one is the exhaust stop. So now we discuss about the working of each of these stop. So now first one is the intake stop. At the beginning of the intake stop, the piston is close to the TDC. There is a two position of the piston. First one is the TDC and second one is the BDC. That means the top dead center and bottom dead center. When the piston is upside the cylinder, this is the position is known as the top dead center. And the piston is a downward side, that is in the bottom. That position is known as the bottom dead center position, TDC and BDC. Now we understand the working. So at the beginning, that means at the starting of this stop, the piston is at the TDC, that means at the upward side. The intake valve is open. The piston start to move towards the BDC. And we know that when the intake valve is open, that means this blue valve is open, at that time air and fuel mixture enter inside this cylinder. And due to that pressure, this piston is moved downward side. That means piston is moved from the TDC to BDC position. This torque is called the intake because the pressed air mixture is taken into the engine. The intake stop ends when the piston is at the BDC. That means this stop is end when the piston is at the BDC position. So this is the first one stop, intake stop. Now we discuss about the second one stop. This is the compression stop. The compression stop start with the piston at the BDC, that means at the bottom side, after the intake stop is finished. During the compression stop, both the valve, intake and the exhaust valve, that means this valve and also this valve, both the valves are closed and the piston move towards the TDC, that means from the upward direction. And the intake stop, piston is moved in the downward side, but in the compression stop, the piston is moved upward direction. With both the valves closed, the air mixture is compressed, reaching the maximum pressure when the piston is close to the TDC. Now, next one stop is the power stop. The power stop starts with the piston is at the TDC, that means at the top side. Both the valve intake and the exhaust are still closed. That means in this stop, this intake valve and this exhaust valve both are closed. The air fuel mixture combustion starts at the end of the compression stop, which causes a significant increase of pressure inside this cylinder. That means in the power stop, this spark plug provides a spark, and we know that air and the pressure is inside this cylinder. So due to that spark, the combustion process is stopped, and this produces the force, and piston is moved in the downward side from the TDC to BDC. The pressure inside the cylinder pushes the piston down towards the BDC. So this is the power stop. And the last one is the exhaust stop. During this stop, the exhaust valve is open. So this red valve is open at this time. The movement of the piston from the BDC towards the TDC pushes most of the exhaust gas out of the cylinder into the exhaust pipe. That means in this stop, this piston is moved from BDC to TDC, and this valve is open, exhaust valve. So the exhaust gas is flow in this the side of the exhaust pipe through this valve. So this is the last stop. This is the exhaust stop. So in this lecture, we have discussed first about the motivation for electronics engine control, and then we discuss about the internal combustion engine. So in this lecture, we have discussed about these two topics. Thank you. Hello and welcome to our channel Electronics and Communication Engineering. Congratulations to find us for learning. You are watching a lecture session on automotive electronics that has approx 15 sessions and more are coming up. We have more than 1200 sessions in various lecture series on courses for electronics and communication engineering. Watch it and learn. If you like it, share it, subscribe it and press bell icon to receive all updates on new session. Enjoy learning.